G'day everyone. My name is Tony Cross, and by day my business is Drive Connect Car Brokers, and I'm in the BNI Business Sunrise chapter. But today I'm running the Sunny Coast's very own podcast called the Referral Wave, Riding the Tide of Success. And today I have with me Sam Ezzy from Peak Escapes. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you.
So look, Sam, we talked a little bit off air, but tell us a bit about your business and what you do at Peak Escapes.
Well, we are a travel consultancy. So we have the enviable job of booking people's holidays and creating really memorable, bucket list worthy type trips for people.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
That would be hugely satisfying, I bet.
it is. It is. It's an easy sell if you ask me.
Yeah, very good. And look, what led you to join BNI?
Uh, well, when the business was pretty new, I think we started around 2018, something like that. The focus was growth. So my husband is the travel agent, Chris, and I was sort of behind the scenes marketing, systems, admin, all of the sort of behind the scenes role. So for me, the focus was marketing, getting out there and starting to sort of build a pipeline of sales so that we could grow the business. That's not why I've stayed with BNI, but it was certainly the reason I started.
Yeah, yep. And how did you get to join BNI? Like, how did you get introduced to BNI?
I actually started in a launch chapter.
All right.
Somebody, I know I can't even remember who it was. Somebody said, "Look, there's this thing called BNI. We're starting a new chapter, and we're looking for different industries, different people from different industries to join and help launch it." So I think I was about the sixth person who joined the group, and then it probably took about 12 months and before we launched. So I had a bit of a different start to BNI. I was more introduced to the fact that they were launching a new chapter.
Yeah. And you found that experience, growing into a chapter, you found that experience good?
Yeah, I did actually. I felt like it took a while for us to get to the point where we could launch, but it was a good opportunity to, practice the structure of BNI and learn how to present each week and, get everything into place before we sort of were a fully fledged chapter. So
Yeah.
it's actually not a bad way to start in BNI. It does mean though that your growth, it takes a bit longer for you to start seeing referrals and whatnot coming through, but it didn't really matter because we were looking at how we could build the chapter before that. So but yeah, I found it a good experience.
I guess some people would sort of enjoy that process a bit more than maybe walking into a chapter with. I think you're in chapter now 34 at Northern Lights, but I mean that could be daunting for people too, walking into a big chapter as well, right? They might rather grow into
Yeah,
a small little group.
yeah, without a doubt. Like I think it for that reason, it was a good way to start because you're sort of finding your feet with everybody else
Yeah.
because everybody was obviously new. So yeah, it was good.
No, that's good. Now, look, I'm going to jumble the questions up a little bit because I want to get this one out of the way first because this will lead on to the rest of our discussion.
Okay.
Okay. How has BNI helped you solve any problems, and how have you used the BNI network to help with your business? Now, I'll preface this a little bit. We've chatted off air. You were in a business pre-COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, and in BNI the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yes.
I'm going to let you tell the rest of the story. It's fantastic.
It's a bit of a story. I'll give you the short version. So I started in BNI in our travel business, Peak Escapes, with the view to grow. And the business was sort of at the point where we were just starting to get traction. It was starting to really work really well, and we were happy with the way that it was headed. And then the pandemic hit, and for those of us in the travel industry, that was a pretty devastating event. It basically meant that our income, as soon as the it got declared a pandemic, our income stopped overnight, and we started getting the calls. We were preempting as much as we could as it was unfolding, but it was just happening all so quickly. So the pandemic hit. We made the decision pretty early on that we were going to do whatever we could to try and get through it. The travel business was our only source of income. So what ended up happening was I was in under travel. Long story short, I ended up pivoting, and as it happened, I put out to my network that I was looking for opportunities for me to break away from Peak Escapes and do something else to get us through while Chris was unraveling holidays and helping get people home. And, you know, some trips got booked 3 times because every time we had a lockdown, things changed again and rules kept changing. It was chaos. And we stopped counting how much travel we cancelled at about $3 million.
Jesus.
So, you know, it was a lot of travel that we had to cancel. And so we made the decision that I would break away from Peak Escapes and do something else. Anyway, when I put it out to the network, my BNI family, one of the colleagues approached me and said, would you be interested in helping me with my customer service and the admin side of my business? And I said, let's do it. So that began the next business, which was a virtual administration business. So I had my first client. I didn't have a business name at that point, but I just thought, okay, this is going to help us be able to get through this. So I started Get Synergy, built it up, ended up with a team of 4 over the next sort of 5 years. In BNI, I switched from the travel business to Get Synergy. And earlier this year, I decided to sell that business because the sole reason was because we've got 2 kids. We had 2 businesses under one roof. We've got elderly parents, and it just was too stressful having 2 businesses. So I sold Get Synergy, and I'm now back in the Peak Escapes business. So yeah, honestly, I don't know how we would have been able to build Get Synergy as fast and as well as we did if we hadn't have been in BNI. I just
Yeah,
don't think it would have happened.
it's yeah, it's a fantastic story, and we've known each other for a while, and we caught up. I was subbing at your chapter the other day. Um, it's such a good story, and great to see you transition through that, and with your BNI family reaching out for help, and then using that family then again to build a business. So you've sort
Yeah.
of done it twice,
Yes.
you've sort of done it twice in BNI, out of circumstance. But yeah, look, I just think it's amazing, and all credit to you for sticking in there and keeping going with it.
Thank you.
So how long in the end did you end up running Get Synergy for?
Uh, we started it in 2020, and I sold it this year. So it was a bit just over 4 years, I think it was in total, because I think we started midway through, must have been about July, August of 2020, and I sold it in January of this year. So yeah, just under 5 years. So it grew quite quickly. And I mean, during the worst of the pandemic, we also got JobKeeper, so
Yeah,
that helped keep us afloat. But when you've got kids and a mortgage and school fees, and the JobKeeper only went so far. So, and we knew it was running out too. So we had a deadline.
yeah,
And in that time, I just basically head down, bum up, and grew Get Synergy so that by the time the JobKeeper scheme ran out, we had enough to keep us going. Because there really wasn't any travel to speak of for 2 years. Like it was very hit and miss and was only domestic, and not everybody was, most states were locked down. Queensland was really, the one state that came through fairly unscathed in terms of lockdowns. But so yeah, we relied heavily on JobKeeper, and then when it ran out, Get Synergy was the main income provider for us.
Yeah, and with the travel agency, are you back now to your pre-COVID levels, or are you sort of having to build that up again, sort of from scratch?
No, I thought we would have to build it because I thought the fear around COVID was going to mean it was going to be a bit of a long haul back. But as soon as they opened the borders, it exploded.
Yeah,
So I would say we are now better off than what we were pre-COVID. I mean, the other thing is that we looked at that time strategically. So we spent, so while I was building Get Synergy and growing it and creating cash flow, Chris was focused on redoing our systems. We reached out to travel agents we knew who had taken jobs and said, would you be willing to give us your database? So we managed to pick up a fairly sizable database during that time. We got marketing ready for when we were going to, when everything came back to normal. And then we also kept posting on social media, like we were doing updates, we were keeping in touch with our clients. So we were still pretty active, even though there was nothing coming in. And so when the borders opened, we were pretty well positioned to then get back to more than pre-COVID levels.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great. Look, I mean, we've got a few questions here to go through, but it's sort of really you're answering all of the, all the questions get answered in the process of that story. But I mean, obviously you use BNI a lot to enhance your networking, and you've used that heaps to build up both businesses, haven't you?
Yes, and I didn't use it just for referrals. I mean, we had quite a few BNI members as clients in Get Synergy, but I didn't. I really lent on the network for help too, like business coaching, accounting, um, bookkeeping, marketing. So we've got such a wealth of knowledge in the chapter. Uh, it became, and just the moral support, because there were others who were affected negatively. There were also others that COVID was one of the best things that happened for them,
Yeah,
like real estate agents, for as an
yeah,
example. Um, but there was just so much support. We also got a mountain of support from our clients too.
yeah.
Like there was a period of time where we were every other day a carton of beer would turn up, or toilet paper, or we had gift cards rolling in, and then we had 3 lots of groceries turn up, fruit and veg. To this day, we don't know who sent them. The delivery driver, all they would say was, "This is a client whose trip you had to cancel. They want to remain anonymous." And
No,
so, like, even though it was really tough time to go through, I had the BNI network there to lean on. We were getting amazing support from our clients as well. So there was a lot of things that came out of that restored my faith in humanity,
yes, correct.
but helped us get through. So yeah, BNI was instrumental, not just with referrals, but also with support.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, it's good. I tell you what, I hope you're looking after the people that gave up the toilet paper. That,
I
that,
know.
that was like gold at the time, wasn't it?
It really was. It was, yeah.
That was like gold.
It gave
But
us a laugh, actually, the toilet paper. So
yeah, geez, not many people giving that up. Uh,
no.
so look, in your experience, has there been one key problem? I know you've faced a few, but has there been one key one that you've reached out to your BNI family to solve that's helped you grow your business?
Oh, look, I think the main one was getting Get Synergy off the ground as fast as possible. So I was using a business coach from BNI at the time, and he was instrumental in keeping me, because when you're going through a situation like we went through, it's very scary, and your emotions tend to be all over the place. And so I really needed somebody to keep me focused, and for me to be able to verbalize what we were going through, get that out of the way so that I could then focus on, okay, what do we need to do next? What's the next thing we've got to do? I would say definitely having somebody there to keep me on the straight and narrow, help me create strategies that were going to help grow that business as fast as possible. Because we were in a position where our back was against the wall and we had to create cash flow.
Yeah.
So that was it sounds terrible because it's not necessarily the best way. Normally you're starting a business with a why and there's passion around it and that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
in our case, it was a bit different with Get Synergy. It was a survival thing. The business itself turned out to be such a great experience for me because I learned so much through the process of it. I had an amazing team. We had the most beautiful clients. So it ended up being a really fun growth experience for me. But ultimately, my passion lies with travel. So it was also really fun coming back into working in Peak Escapes again.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Mm.
Um, so, given your success in BNI, and I know there's an overarching great story there, but is there one standout story for listeners that you can share, like from your whole BNI experience?
Oh,
Maybe a fantastic trip you planned, or got someone out of a
oh.
jam, or I don't know. There's probably
Well, let me think. Well, we've I mean, listen, I can give you an example of what an impact BNI has had on us from the sense of receiving
yeah,
services from BNI people. Is that we recently bought a house, and in the process, we used our buyer's agent, we used our building and pest inspector, our Sparky, our solar guy. Uh, we used our conveyancer. So the what was so good about that whole experience is I had all these people at my disposal that I knew were top level, that I wasn't going to have to worry about, am I getting ripped off, and are they cutting corners? I didn't have to worry about any of that. And the buying and the moving in and the things that we had to get done, carpet cleaning, that was another cross chapter referral, cleaning, cross chapter referral. So all of those people I could call on, I knew that they were going to do a first rate job and I didn't have to worry about it.
yeah.
It took so much stress out of the whole process.
Yeah, and look, that's common thread, obviously, with people in BNI, especially the longer they've been in it too. But you're right, is that BNI family, and you're just calling on someone and relying on them to do a standout job, and getting you out of a jam. I know you did
Yeah.
it with me. I got myself in a situation where I was going away, and businesses sort of got to a point where I didn't know what I was going to do with phone service and stuff. So you looked after me for a couple of months, like yeah. And again, that was pretty new in my BNI journey, and I didn't really know where I was or what I needed at that time, but you put your hand up for help. Someone comes along and goes, "Hey, let's try this out," and you navigate through it. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, you're 100% correct there. Look, given your journey to date, what advice would you give anyone listening to this podcast about making the most out of their journey, with the business network in BNI?
A couple of things actually. I mean, I'm a big advocate of givers gain. So, I like to support my members as much as they supported me. And that's both in referrals, but also in just other little things where you can help them out. Um, the other thing I think, especially if you're starting out in BNI, is building your credibility, because I think um, that creates trust. If people feel like you've got good credibility, you're automatically building that trust within the network, and people are more uh, able then, or feel more able to refer you. And then couple that with, I feel like one-to-ones are, especially in the beginning, are really key because you need to build those relationships. People want to do business with people they like. So you need to be really nurturing those relationships, sorry, and getting to know other businesses allowing them to get to know you, and then you bring the giver's gain piece in, which you give as much as you get, if not more, in the process as well.
Yeah. You can listen to someone's 45 seconds or however long your chapter is, infomercials forever, but until you actually sit down and have a one-to-one with them and peel that onion back, and it's amazing what you find out.
Yeah.
I think it's probably nearly my favorite bit is, the things you learn about people and other things they do, like things that they might not mention. So,
Yeah.
one-to-ones are vital, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. And same with the social events that get put on. Like, go along to those, because that's when you really get to know people on a more personal level.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of that. Look, it's all about building those relationships. I think, like, if you're out there, making an effort to connect with other people in the chapter, then you will find the referrals will flow to you.
Yeah. No, 100%. All right. So what's next for Peak Escapes? What's on the horizon?
Oh, well, look, we're now starting to look at the whole AI picture. Well, not starting. We've been looking at it for a while, to be honest. But we're now. So what happened is we built our systems during the pandemic. We've now really outgrown those, and AI's come into the picture. So we're now looking at introducing some new aspects to our process that will make the experience for our clients more even smoother than what it is, and bring the AI piece in to help us run the business even more efficiently and
Yeah.
effectively. So I'm in the middle of, at the moment, of overhauling the systems again to bring that in, and we'll be rolling that out pretty soon to at least beta test it to see how it rolls, and then yeah, hopefully that will just bring another level to the service we can provide.
Yeah. Fantastic. What's I think you mentioned it before, but what's the one core value in BNI that resonates with you?
Yeah, I'd say givers gain is the
Yeah.
one that resonates the most with me. Yeah. And I mean, we've seen it firsthand um, through what we've been through in business, but also on a personal level. So,
Yeah. No, you're
yeah.
100% right there. Well, it's been fantastic having you on the podcast, Sam.
Thanks,
It's a,
Tony.
it's a great journey, and I was so happy when we crossed paths the other day. I was great to learn that you were back into it, or you were back in it full time. I know Chris always has, but no,
Yeah.
it was fantastic. And make sure they use a travel agent rather than book online, because then if something goes wrong, they can talk to their travel agent, get things
Yes.
sorted out.
Yes. We had a 3 o'clock in the 3 a.m. call the other morning from someone stuck in Cuba because their ESTA visa had been cancelled. So, if you've got a travel agent there, we can help you out.
That's the reason why you need to use a travel agent.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. So how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Look, it's pretty easy if they just head to our website, peakescapes.com.au, and Peak is PEAK. All of our contact details are on there, or you can reach out through the BNI network too. You'll find me through there either way. But yeah, best way to get hold of us.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks again, Sam. It's been great. Congratulations on your BNI journey so far. I got a funny feeling it's going to last for a fair bit longer. And
Hopefully, these ones, no more pandemics. Thanks
no
very
more
much.
pandemics. And yeah, we'll see you down there by the waterside one morning soon.